Hello. Tablighi Jamaat, who plan to put up the biggest mosque in Europe in the East End of London, West Ham, have produced this glossy brochure to explain to the local residents around West Ham what they're doing and why they're planning to do it and so on. Frankly, so much of this is just nonsense. Let me illustrate my points. In here, they tell the local residents that they are a non-political and a peaceful organisation. That is provably untrue. That is provably untrue. That is provably untrue.
Probably untrue. Well, I think Alan Craig is unsure about Tablighi Jamaat. Let us correct him. Tablighi Jamaat sees its duty to revitalize the Muslim community. It emphasizes Muslim practice and participation in the Muslim community, especially those it believes are in danger of losing their Muslim identity. Therefore, it's not a political movement, it's a religious movement.
Tablighi Jamaat runs itself by what it calls the 6 points of Tablighi. These are basic 6 Islamic principles, and point number 5 is about sincerity. And they make the point very strongly that when you go on military jihad, when you go on holy war, you must do so sincerely unto Allah. That when you go on military jihad, when you go on holy war, you must do so sincerely unto Allah. That when you go on military jihad, when you go on holy war, you must do so sincerely unto Allah.
Correction. There are 6 points, and number 6 was wrongly quoted by Alan Craig. Point number 6 is Dawat or Tablighi, the sparing of time to live a life based on faith and earning its virtues, following in the footsteps of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and taking his message door to door for the sake of faith. Since Prophet, peace be upon him, was the last and final prophet, it is our duty to now carry out his work. Therefore, Alan Craig has misquoted this specific point.
Tablighi Jamaat has been associated with a number of people who have planned atrocities. You think of people like Richard Reed, 2 of the 7/7 bombers, a number of those who were associated with the airline terror plot in August 2006, and indeed more recently 2 of the Glasgow car bombers. You think of people like Richard Reed, 2 of the 7/7 bombers, a number of those who were associated with the airline terror plot in August 2006, and indeed more recently 2 of the Glasgow car bombers. You think of people like Richard Reed, 2 of the 7/7 bombers, a number of those who were associated with the airline terror plot in August 2006, and indeed more recently 2 of the Glasgow car bombers.
Alan, you forgot to mention September 11th, 2001. Oh well, maybe in your next video. Why don't you just blame them for everything? Let's correct Alan Craig with the accusation he has made against Richard Reed. There is no connection of Richard Reed and Tablighi Jamaat. Richard Reed was found guilty on terrorism charges in a federal court in Boston, Massachusetts. So therefore there is no link between Tablighi Jamaat and Richard Reed. Furthermore to this, Richard Reed himself linked himself with Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden. However, he did not mention Tablighi Jamaat, and he was not charged having links with Tablighi Jamaat. So Alan Craig's arguments are unfounded and baseless. Furthermore to this, the 7/7 bombers, the airline terror plots, the Glasgow bombing, all of them were charged with terrorism acts. All of them had links with Al-Qaeda. None of them had links with Tablighi Jamaat, and in the court of law, none of them were charged of having links with Tablighi Jamaat. So Alan Craig's arguments are baseless and do not hold water.
They also say in this document that they're very proud of and they want to use as a model their school up in Dewsbury. They've already got a school up in Dewsbury in Yorkshire, and they want to use that as a model to bring it down here to London. What nonsense that is. It's very simple for anyone to go to Ofsted's website and download a copy of the Ofsted report on their Dewsbury school. Let me read to you just a couple of sentences from it. This school, it says, in the school teaching is unsatisfactory in well over half of the lessons. Overall, by the age of 16 years, Ofsted says, pupils are not achieving well in public examinations. Is that a model school that we'd want to have down here in London? It's very simple for anyone to go to Ofsted's website and download a copy of the Ofsted report on their Dewsbury school. It's It's very simple for anyone to go to Ofsted's website and download a copy of the Ofsted report on their Dewsbury schools.
Alan Craig seems to be reading something else. You can go to Ofsted. The school he is referring to, which he did not mention in his own video, is called the Institute of Islamic Education. I downloaded the report and could not find the claims Alan Craig is illustrating. Overall, the Ofsted report said quality in this outcome area is good. The judgment has been made using available evidence, including a visit to the service. Students enjoy a wide range of activities and feel well supported by staff. New students were quickly integrated into the school community. So therefore I believe Alan Craig's arguments are misleading and providing misinformation.
They also say in here that they want to communicate with, they want to engage with the good people of Newham in order to explain their plans and so on. Well, it's this self-same Tablighi Jamaat that want to communicate and engage. They've actually been completely irresponsible in the way they have managed their site so far. Some years ago they put up kitchens, ablution blocks, a car park, outhouses, all completely without any planning permission whatsoever. When they bought the site, they knew the site was very contaminated, yet they did nothing about this. They had people coming onto the site and so on. It was contaminated because it used to be a chemical works there. It's only when recently, under the Freedom of Information Act, I managed to get hold of a recent contamination report that we discovered that the site is high risk from an environmental point of view and a significant risk to current site users. Are those responsible users of this site? I think not. Tablighi Jamaat is traditionally hostile to many peoples. It's traditionally hostile to many Muslims, Shias, Sufis, Barelwis and so on. I don't think they're the sort of people we want to have building this national landmark mosque. Indeed, I challenge Tablighi Jamaat to a public debate over some of the statements they've got in here. I challenge them to it. They can name the place, they can name the time, they can appoint the chair of the debate. But we have to challenge them on these statements they're putting in here. This mosque will not be good for London, it will not be good for the nation, and it must be stopped. That when you go on military jihad, when you go on holy war, you must do so sincerely unto Allah. They are really nice guys. I really like them. They're very nice guys, but we have issues, real issues.
I hope you mean that, Alan.
I do, absolutely. I have nothing personal.
And our invitation to sit down is a genuine one, and we would like to work out what your concerns are and how we can address them in the future.
Okay. God bless you. Cheers. Thank you very much.